All right, and we're live. All right, folks, well, welcome to the Florida Softball Network. Today's matchup, for the first one of the day, we have Jupiter Lightning at Chobee Amp.
And Dave, it's good to be back with you. A bit breezy this morning as we get into this first game. And on the mound for Chobee Amp is Lyric Rodriguez. And the catcher is Melanie Bonilla. And leading things off for the Jupiter Lightning will be Arlo Fitzgerald.
Avalo.
Thank you.
Gotcha.
And the first pitch is up high for a ball. So just underway, first game of this one-day tournament. And the 1-0 pitch by Rodriguez is in for a called strike. We mentioned before going live that the wind could be a little bit of a factor, especially on fly balls today. And the 1-1 pitch is hit down to second base and rolls past the second baseman into right field. That'll go as an error, but he'll have a leadoff runner aboard. And that'll bring up Cameron Solano. So 1 on with nobody out here in the top of the first. Say, Dave, the cloud cover is kind of nice to have here.
It is. It drifts over. The wind kind of cooling things down a little bit.
And the first pitch to Solano is outside for ball 1.
Makes it comfortable. Beautiful day at the ball field.
The 1-0 is in for a called strike, and Solano, attempting to steal, is thrown out at second base on a beautiful throw by Bonilla for out number 1. So a called strike and runner thrown out at second base for out number 1. And a count of 1 ball, 1 strike. And the next offering is low and inside for a ball. Fitzgerald didn't get a very good jump. You might be able to hear the wind there as it really is whipping through. The next pitch is a called strike. So the umpire has established his zone here early in the contest. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And up high for ball 3. So full count with 1 out here in the top of the first. And the 3-2 pitch is swung on, fouled back to the screen. Temperature expected to be in the upper 70s today, Dave.
Real comfortable upper 70s. Like you said, while the wind's going to be a factor in the game, it is comfortable for the fans.
3-2 pitch bounces in for ball 4. So Solano draws a 1-out walk. And that will bring up Haley Hirsch. Keep in mind the leadoff runner got aboard on an error, but was thrown out at second base as the first pitch is a called strike. So no balls, 1 strike to Hirsch. Solano at first base via the walk, and the 0-1 pitch is outside for ball 1. With the breeze, Dave, you can certainly smell the barbecue that's getting underway on the other side there. 1-1 pitch to Hirsch is slapped foul and out of play. The count of 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for barbecue yet this time in the morning, but I guess got to get the grill nice and hot and get it ready. Maybe they're making some sort of breakfast sandwiches. That would be a good thing to be selling now.
1-2 pitch to Hirsch is swung on, hit down to third base. The throw to second is in time to get the lead runner Solano, so a fielder's choice for Hirsch. And there are 2 away here in the top of the first inning. Well, interestingly enough, it's the third base runner for the Lightning here on the top of the first. They have not had a hit yet. Got their leadoff runner on an error, and then a walk, and then a fielder's choice. And with 2 outs, that'll bring up
Sawyer, Clement.
Sawyer Clement, who takes the ball inside. So might look for Hirsch to steal here with 2 outs. The 1-0 pitch is a pass ball, and Hirsch will easily get into second base, and it puts a runner in scoring position. So a ball and a strike. First game of the day here in this one-day tournament in Boca Raton, and I have to say the field is in beautiful condition here, Dave. We mentioned earlier that the sun could be a factor as well, as the next pitch is a called strike on the outside.
Well, it was great that this is the second game of the day on this field, but they took the time to re-chalk it before the start of this game, make sure that the field was in perfect shape for this matchup.
And the next offering is up high by Rodriguez. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the top half of the first inning. Haley Hirsch, the runner at second base. And 3-1 pitch is in for a called strike to even count as 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Interesting with this team, Chobee Amp, they actually have 2 guest players that we know of, both pitchers.
And the 3-2 pitch bounces in for ball 4. So another walk, and that puts runners at first and second with 2 down. And Allison Held steps to the plate. 4 base runners in the inning, nothing to show for it here in the top of the first for the Jupiter Lightning. And Lyric Rodriguez ready, and the pitch is slapped foul and out of play for strike 1. Sun is back out again, a little cloud cover here this morning. But as the day progresses, we expect it to be sunny and warm. That could be a factor the more games you play, of course, Dave.
Absolutely, but these Florida teams.
And the 0-1 is hit down to second base, and quick throw across in time to get Held for out number 3. So in the inning, no runs, no hits. There was 1 error and 2 runners left on, and we're getting set for the bottom half of the first inning.
What's up, Sherman?
So did I thought. Hi.
Jupiter Lightning chop out on defense here with their standard, I'd like to call it the Seattle Seahawks colors, because that's really what it reminds me of.
It is the same, you're right, you're right. On the mound, Avelo Fitzgerald. It's the leadoff batter of the game. Catching behind the plate, Reese Kennerson. At first base, we have Cody Spring. Second base, Haley Hirsch. Playing short, Addison Held. At third base, Sawyer Clement. From left field to right field, let's see if I can see who's out there. Left field, looks like we've got Cameron Solano.
Yeah, when we did the games a couple weeks ago, I mentioned that if they had a jersey number on the front of the jersey, for announcers, that would be very helpful, especially because a lot of these young ladies have ponytails and pigtails that will sometimes block the number on the back of the jersey, making it more difficult to identify.
Right, add to that the mask they're wearing too.
Yeah.
I believe in center field, we've got Ava. And in right field, Luca.
In
So
the top,
there's your fielders.
top of that first inning, the Chobee Amp displayed some pretty good defense. They made the 1 error, opening things up, but then they threw out a runner at second base and made some good infield plays. And the catcher will lead things off here. For Chobee Amp in the bottom of the first inning, Amalia Estrada. Ready to go here in the bottom of the first. Again, Ella Fitzgerald on the hill for the Lightning, and the first pitch is low for ball one.
Avalo. You say Ella?
No, I said Avalo.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
I gotta get my hearing checked.
And the pitch is slapped foul. It's got a piece of it. So kind of 1 ball, 1 strike. Fitzgerald looks in, and the pitch is swung on and missed for strike 2. One ball and 2 strikes, and the pitch is hit back to the pitcher, and the throw over to first base is in time for out number 1.
Sprays to the plate, one of the couple of guest players Chobee Amp has.
It's nice if you can add those guest players in too. And the first pitch is a changeup that's in for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. We're in the bottom of the first inning, and the 0-1 is up high for ball 1. One out, no score, bottom of the first inning. And the 1-1 pitch is swung on and hit down to first base, and an easy play. Gloved nicely there by Cody Spring for out number 2. Reached across her body as she's a left-handed thrower, but made the play quite easily, stepped on the bag. And quickly there are 2 away. And that'll bring up Ela Trueblood, who bats left-handed. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the first. The Lightning show the penchant to get base runners on, but they'll need to bring them around to score. And the first offering is just behind us here. And out of play for ball 1. Strike 1.
Strike 1, yes.
Guess those are strikes, Dave. And the 0-1 pitch from Fitzgerald is slapped at and missed for strike 2. With runners on, like a runner at third, that's not a bad strategy to kind of run up and do basically a swinging bunt. But with nobody on, you really want to stand in there and get your full weight behind it.
Probably just trying to catch the defense sleeping.
And the 0-2 pitch is low for ball 1.
Well, slapping is not easy. So much movement going on to still see the bat and ball meet can be a challenge.
If you're joining us here on the Florida Softball Network, we're in the bottom of the first inning, and the pitch is hit just in front of the mound, and throw is a little bit high, and that'll be an infield single. It just was tapped in front of the plate, but the throw is just a bit high. So first base runner aboard here for Chobee Amp with 2 outs. And that'll bring up Juania Fortner. And Avalo Fitzgerald's first pitch is swung on and slap foul, out of play. Seen a lot of balls go out of play over the backstop and over the dugout so far, Dave.
There is.
The good news is that the players are making contact.
Oh my God, it's so jealous.
Bad news is it needs to stay in play. So no balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning, and a runner at first. And the next pitch is a bit low and goes past the catcher, and that'll be a pass ball. And the runner will advance to second base. So now, just when it looked like Fitzgerald will get out of the inning unscathed, Chobee Amp has a runner in scoring position at second base with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. And the pitch is low for ball 2.
See if Lightning can get out of this inning, sitting at 2 outs.
2 balls, 1 strike, and Fitzgerald's pitch is low and outside for ball 3. What you don't want to do is focus on that runner at second. You really need to concentrate on the batters. Don't lose focus that you have 2 outs. If you give up a walk, so be it. It creates another force play, but 3-1 pitch is a called strike 2, but it bounces again in front of the catcher, and the runner able to advance to third base now. Springs had a couple of those that have just bounced off her glove. They haven't rolled away too far, Dave, but far enough for the runner to advance when they're on the move. So pitch is hit foul down the first base side. Looked like a pretty quiet, quick inning for the Lightning, but then an infield single and a couple of pass balls. And a full count here with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. And the 3-2 pitch is ball 4 as it bounces in. So Fortner draws a walk. Runners at first and third. And Melanie Bonilla will step to the plate. Runners at first and third. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. And runners in difference there as the runner will take second base with no throw on ball 1. So Chobee Amp now with runners in scoring position at second and third. 2 outs and a count of 1 ball and no strikes. And the pitch is in for a called strike. Dual-purpose field used for softball as well as baseball, as evidenced by 300 straightaway center and down the lines. The 1-1 pitch by Fitzgerald is in for a called strike 2.
You can get one past the outfield, and that rolls to the fence. You got yourself a solid inside the park home run. With the
runners
wide
at
field.
Second and third with 2 outs, and the 1-2 pitch is a called strike 3. So just like that, the Jupiter Lightning got into trouble, and Avila Fitzgerald got them out of trouble with the called strike 3. So no runs, an infield single, and no errors, and 2 runners left on. We've played 1 inning here and no score.
Where can I find your broadcast later?
We're broadcasting on YouTube at Florida Softball Network.
You do this for all the teams?
We do this just following the Lightning.
Really?
Yeah, but essentially, sort of in a way, it is all the teams because we have a whole roster of games there.
Florida Softball Network?
Florida Softball Network.
Are you guys parents?
Yes.
Sweet.
There it is. Well, the wind for the moment has died down a little bit, Dave.
Yeah, it seems like it kind of comes in gusts, dies down a little bit, and picks up once again. Again, just enough to kind of keep it comfortable. Without that wind, I think it would be a little bit of a blazer.
In that first inning, both teams really had opportunities to score. The Lightning had a total of 4 base runners with no hits in the first inning, and only 1 hit for Chobee Amp. But they left 2 runners stranded in scoring position as Avila Fitzgerald was able to strike out Melody Bonilla. Bonilla took 3 called strikes there in that at bat. And so we head to the top of the second inning here.
Testament to the pitchers. It's such a tough position to play. You got that pressure on you. You got runners in scoring position. And still managing to close it out at the plate with some on-point pitching. Both pitchers doing really well today.
No.
Well, that little break in the wind was short-lived, but
No, it's
Take what we can get. Reese Kennerson will be leading things off here for the Lightning in the top of the second inning.
Reese playing catcher for this game.
We're in the top of the second inning for the visiting for this game, Jupiter Lightning. No runs, no hits, and no errors. For Chobee Amp, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 error. Lyric Rodriguez set to go to work here in the top of the second inning against Kennerson here on the Florida Softball Network. And the first pitch is low for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch is up high for ball 2. So 2 balls, no strikes here in the top of the second inning, no score. And the 2-0 is in for a called strike 1.
Mommy.
2-1 is outside for ball 3. So 3 balls, 1 strike on the leadoff batter here on the top of the second inning. And the next pitch is outside for ball 4. And Kennerson draws the leadoff walk. And that will bring up Luca Hansberger. She steps in with a runner at first and no outs. And the 5th base runner early on here, Dave, for the Lightning. Keep in mind, Bonilla threw out a base runner trying to steal back in the first inning.
I'm sure that's going to definitely play a part in aggressiveness on the base paths.
So the 1-0 pitch is in for a called strike. Reese Kennerson, the runner at first, drew a leadoff walk. Hansberger with a 1-1 count and takes low for ball 2. The 2-1 pitch is swung on and popped foul, back and out of play. And that'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Should tell those that are viewing, of course, on the Florida Softball Network YouTube channel that as the next pitch is low for ball 3. You do a lot of work as you're doing announcing here, and you're also doing all the cameras.
Yeah, trying to keep all the action on the screen.
Not easy to do, but you follow it very, very well. Well, here's the 3-2 pitch. That swung on, hit back up the middle to second base, and they'll get a force out at second. So fielder's choice for Hansberger, who now becomes a 6th base runner for the Lightning, Day, but still no hits.
Yeah, see if somebody's going to get the.
How many different camera angles can you get based on your setup there?
I could go 9, but that would be a lot to be staying on top of. So right now we've got 5 different shots that we can go with.
And the lefty Cody Spring will step in and takes the ball outside for ball 1. Hansberger, the runner at first on a fielder's choice. 1 out here in the top of the second inning. And the pitch is up high for ball 2. She squared the bunt but took it up high. So 2 balls, no strikes. Squares the bunt again and takes a strike. Pretty good pitch to bunt out there, but she didn't.
Yeah, she thought it was coming in a little bit outside.
So 2 balls, 1 strike. Hansberger, the runner at first, and the pitch is low and outside for ball 3.
And there you go. That one was outside. Maybe she was just one pitch ahead.
3 balls, 1 strike. And the pitch is swung on and missed for strike 2. Little lost speed there by Rodriguez.
Well, count is full. Runner on 1.
And ready to go now with the full count pitch. Is swung on and slapped out of play off the left side. The count will hold at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lyric Rodriguez, the pitcher, Cody Spring, the batter, and the 3-2 pitch is low for ball 4. So the Lightning have their 7th base runner on board. Still no hits for them in the top of the 2nd inning, but they have runners at 1st and 2nd with only 1 out, and that'll bring up Ava Horswood. Little timeout to talk to the batter and the base runners here. Lightning have been able to get runners on board, Dave. It's a matter of getting them around and getting them in, of course. Defense has been pretty solid so far from Chobee Amp, other than the 1 error on the leadoff batter.
Yeah, I'm sure the Amp is getting together there, talking about getting out of this inning. Follows suit to the Lightning when they had base runners on against them, but managed to get out of that inning unscathed. I'm sure the Amp wants to do the same.
Luca Hansberger, the runner at 2nd base. Cody Spring, the runner at 1st. And Ava Horswood steps in. The first pitch is up high for ball 1. With the success that the Lightning are having getting runners on board, you'd like to get at least 1, if not 2 runs here in this inning. Take advantage of your base runners. The 1-0 pitch is swung on and fouled back to the screen to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. We're in the top of the 2nd inning, no score between the Jupiter Lightning and Chobee Amp here in our first game today on the Florida Softball Network.
This tournament is a 1-1 tournament, 1 seeding game leading into single elimination.
Pitch is hit down to first base. It'll be an easy play, but it'll advance the runners unassisted at first base. So 2 outs, and the Lightning do have runners in scoring position in 2nd and 3rd.
And
only play was that unassisted play at first base.
Back at the top of the lineup.
And Avila Fitzgerald will step in, try and help her own cause. Avila's done a pretty good job on the mound thus far, and the first pitch is hit up the middle. That could very well be a base hit. The throw across is in time. Well, that was a bang-bang play, but it appeared that she was thrown out by about a half a step, Dave, but almost beat that one out. And in the inning for the Lightning, no runs, no hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left on. We played an inning and a half and still no score. Maybe you could talk a little bit about the time limit in these tournaments, Dave, because it's not a regulation situation where, depending on the length of the game, since you have other games that need to be played.
Yeah, I believe we're hour 15-minute games today, so we can move through all the seeding, well, the seeding game, and move all the way through the bracket. So we don't necessarily play a full game. And right now, this seems to be a real defensive battle, so we may get into a few innings, because it seems like the innings aren't really extending. Although we are getting base runners on, but no runs scored. They're managing to get the 3 outs before anything crosses the plate. So as I was saying before, like you said, 1 seeding game. So you don't want to let runs score against you. You want to try to put on as many runs as you can. Maximum of 8 go in your favor. Right now, it's still sitting at 0-0 on this game. Avilo still on the mound. Reese behind the plate. We'll throw down to 2. All right,
And
here we
we're
go.
set to go here at the bottom of the second inning. And Hannah Platt will step in to face Avalo Fitzgerald. No score on a beautiful morning here in South Florida. And Fitzgerald steps to the rubber, and the first pitch is swung on and hit foul down the first baseline. No balls, 1 strikes to the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the second, Hannah Platt. And the pitch is swung on and fouled right back to the screen, and a count of no balls and 2 strikes. Fitzgerald's 0-2 pitch is swung on and a called strike 3. That's the second batter in a row that she's retired on a called strike, and that's out number 1. And that'll bring up Diane Ikeda. Daughter of the coach. And the first pitch is in for a called strike. Right now, Fitzgerald's doing a really good job, Dave, of being consistent in her location.
Definitely working the batters, working that zone, keeping the batters not knowing what's coming next.
The 0-1 pitch is on the outside corner and a called strike 2. So good, making quick work here of Chobee Amp in the bottom of the second inning. The Lightning have had a total of 7 base runners in the first 2 innings, but have not been able to get anything across. 0-2 is low for ball 1.
Expect Avalo to work the zone here. Pitcher's count.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and Fitzgerald's pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. So a 3rd strikeout in a row, Dave, for Fitzgerald, who seems to have found her groove here. And that'll bring Kulipa Julian. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second, no score. And 3 straight strikeouts by Avalo Fitzgerald, and her first pitch is in for a called strike. That can really help bolster your confidence too, getting those called strikes early in the count.
Definitely helps the pitcher.
The 0-1 is swung on and missed for strike 2.
Now way ahead. Definitely feeling comfortable up there.
Avalo not spending a lot of time between pitches, feels that she's in rhythm here. And the 0-2 pitch is outside for ball 1. One-two pitch is hit foul over towards Chobee Amp's dugout, and the count will hold at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So far, Chobee Amp not really getting around on the speed of the pitches by Fitzgerald, who's ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch is swung on and fouled back and out of play.
Ava! She just stood there.
Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. We're in the bottom half of inning number 2 with no score between Chobee Amp and Jupiter Lightning, and the 1-2 pitch is fouled back to the screen.
Like you said earlier, a lot of foul balls. Few of them making it over the backstop, and with the crowds here today, nearly missing so many times, but everyone seemed lucky today so far.
And the pitch is hit back to Fitzgerald, who throws across in time for out number 3. And Chobee Amp retired in the bottom of the second inning with no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. And 2 strikeouts in that inning for Avila Fitzgerald. And after 2 innings, there is still no score.
This reminds me of the first game that we broadcast together. Defensive battle. I think that one ended 1-0, 2-1. It was a low-scoring game.
Very
as I
low-scoring
recall.
game, yes, yeah.
So if you like your defense, you like your pitching, this is the duel here so far.
Both teams have displayed very good defense thus far. It would appear, at least in 2 innings, that Avila Fitzgerald a little more dominant on the mound, a little more accurate, shall we say, than Lyric Rodriguez, but still no runners across the plate for either side. As we get ready to go to the top of the 3rd inning. Chobee Amp in their red and black uniforms, trimmed in yellow.
Hey Ron, how much time?
Neon green and blue for the Jupiter Lightning.
"30 minutes, umpire says, left in this game, in this matchup. 30 minutes on the timer.
And we played 2 innings, so maybe get 2 more innings in if we're lucky. And that's just the way it works here with this time limit rule. Gives us enough time to write down the players' names for the next game once we find out who the opponent is and reset the board. So, we are in the top of the 3rd inning. No score between Chobee Amp and the Jupiter Lightning. And Cameron Solano will lead things off here for Jupiter. It's funny looking back, Dave, playing baseball and even softball many years ago. Lucky to be wearing a batting helmet. Now you have these personalized helmets for each player, and it's quite interesting. Oh, boy, the first pitch is hit straight back to the pitcher, and a great reflex there by Rodriguez for out number 1. So,
Bang, bang play right there.
good first pitch swinging, but unfortunately right back to the pitcher, and that'll bring up Haley Hirsch, who's 0 for 1. Got on a fielder's choice in the 1st inning. And the first pitch is outside for ball 1. One ball, no strikes, with 1 out here in the top of the 3rd inning, and the pitch is up high for ball 2. Two-0 pitch to Hirsch is in for a called strike 1. Top of the 3rd, no score. And the 2-1 pitch to Hirsch is swung on and hit up the middle, off the pitcher's glove. Hirsch hustling down to first base, and the throw is wild, goes in to short right field. Hirsch will hustle down to second base and have a runner in scoring position again. So still no hits, but another base runner, Dave.
I think that counts as a hit, right? Because it was still a playable ball. It wasn't an error.
And we've just heard from the official scorekeeper, it has been ruled a base hit, yes.
I think that's a tough play to make. Because, right, if it had just been clean, fielded cleanly. Pitcher seems okay.
Hirsch goes to second base on the throw. She would have beat that out, it looked like, anyway. She hustled on down. So a runner at first with 1 out. And the pitch to Sawyer Clement is outside for ball 1. So another golden opportunity for the Jupiter Lightning with 1 out. Haley Hirsch, the runner at second base. And a count of 1 ball and no strikes to Clement. Rodriguez set to go to work and pitches up high for ball 2. I mentioned this in the second inning, but you love to push a run across, especially with the time limit of these games. Get that lead. 2-0 pitch is swung on and fouled back. strike one. That looked like it might have been up high for ball three there, but want to be aggressive, try and get that runner in. This wind is, again, potentially a factor, especially if you hit a ball into the outfield.
And again, with that deep outfield fence.
2 balls, 1 strike, and the pitch is up high for ball three.
Batters count 3-1, right?
3-1.
Sawyer will be looking for something to hit here.
3-1 pitch is way outside for ball four. So another walk, and that puts runners at first and second with 1 out. And Allison Held will stride to the plate here. Top of the 3rd inning, still no score. First of our broadcast today on the Florida Softball Network. Dave Peterson along with Dave Hirsch. Chobee Amp taking on the Jupiter Lightning. Lightning, the visiting team here. And runners at first and second with 1 out. And the pitch is hit back up the middle. It's slow, turn and throw wild into left field, and that'll score a run for the Lightning. So an error allows the Lightning to score. I think with 1 out, Dave, the smart play was to throw to first to get that second out, but for the Lightning it worked out very well as they get the first run across on the throwing error.
Yeah, we've seen all day today the Amp always trying to get the lead runner. This time it did not work out for them. Sometimes I agree.
Yeah,
you gotta
with no outs, I
play.
think maybe you go for the force out there, but with 1 out, the out's an important thing, and here's a pass ball, but it didn't roll far enough away for the runners to advance. So runners are at second and third with only 1 out. Reese Kennerson is the batter, and a count of 1 ball and no strikes. And that's got to shake the pitcher a little bit because that wasn't her fault. She's kept everything on the infield. Next pitch is way up high for ball 2. That all-important run, though, obviously you want to try to win the game, especially as that timer continues to tick down. Hour and 15-minute time limit, as Dave mentioned. The 2-0 pitch is outside for ball 3. Rodriguez lost a little focus here. Looked like an easy play at third base, though, too, Dave. Just a simple throw, but it was thrown.
Just rushed. You put the pressure on.
So 3 balls, no strikes with 1 out here. And the next pitch is outside for ball 4. Well, the bases are loaded with 1 out, 1 run in here in the top of the 3rd inning. And that'll bring up Luca Hansberger. And I think in this instance, look for your pitch to hit, of course, but also a little bit of patience as a little conference on the mound here. As they're going to make a pitching change, it would appear. And this could really work in the favor, potentially, of the Lightning.
You know, I'm surprised a little bit with that pitching change because the pitcher has not been doing poorly. It was really the plays left on the field that's led to what happened here.
I was thinking that myself, too. I mean, she lost the focus on that last batter with 4 straight balls, but she's kept everything on the infield.
Right, so you can take a walk. Granted, yes, that loads the bases, but again, not the pitcher's fault in that regard. I probably would have left her in.
This is one of those, again, the guest players, Dave, but don't have her on my roster.
Yeah, so. This is, I believe, Abby Vitale. I'm not sure. Again, you see these masks on. I believe that's the case here. Yep.
Well, here's the situation. 1 run is in the top of the 3rd inning. The bases are loaded for the Jupiter Lightning with just 1 out. And a great opportunity here to push across some more runs as Hansberger steps in, and the first pitch is swung on and popped into short center field. And a nice catch made by the second baseman. The throw home is also in time for a double play.
Well, she didn't slide.
Yeah, I'm surprised that she didn't slide.
I think if she had slid, she probably would have been safe.
That was really an easy double play there, Dave. And unfortunately for the Lightning, they only get 1 run across. In the inning, there was 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 3 runners left on base. So we played 2.5 here, and the Lightning lead 1-0. It's kind of a strange sequence there, as the ball wasn't hit that deep.
No.
But again, a slide would have easily scored her, but she just went in standing up and really ran herself into the play.
Yeah, surprise there. Lost opportunity for an additional run, but I'm sure the Chobee Amp will take that, get them out of that inning.
Thus far, the Lightning have 1 run on 1 hit, and they've committed no errors. The Chobee Amp squad, no runs, 1 hit, and they have committed a total of 2 errors. And of course, the Costley are leading to that run. So,
We'll see if Avala's going to pick up where she left off. Several strikeouts in that last inning.
yeah, she struck out 3 in a row at one point. Getting that lead really has got to help your confidence as well, especially at the latter stages of your first game. Well, we're getting set to go here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning, with Chobee Amp trailing the Jupiter Lightning 1-0. And how many more opportunities will these teams have? Of course, that's the questions, especially for Chobee Amp. And Vital will lead things off here for Chobee Amp, as Fitzgerald ready to go with a floater in for ball 1 up high. Bottom of the 3rd inning, Jupiter Lightning leading by a score of 1-0. Lightning have had a ton of runners on board, but only 1 run to show for it. And the pitch is in for a called strike.
Nice pitch, grabbing the inside corner right there.
That evens the count at a ball and a strike. And Fitzgerald's 1-1 pitch is swung and a miss for strike 2.
Prime example right there. Came inside on that last pitch and then came outside, keeping the batters off rhythm.
So Lyric Rodriguez, 1-2 count. And it's low for ball 2, even in the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Our first broadcast today on the Florida Softball Network. 2-2 pitch is swung on and hit to shortstop. The throw across is in time to get Rodriguez for out number 1. So we've seen some pretty solid defense overall. A couple of errors by Chobee Amp, but unfortunately one of those errors did lead to the only run in the ball game. As Delia Nunez will step up. Sun back out completely here. And the first pitch is off speed and low for ball 1. One ball, no strikes. And pitch is in for a called strike. Not charting that today, Dave, but a pretty good percentage of first ball or called strikes today for
Avala. Yeah.
And the next pitch is swung on and missed. So a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jupiter really missed a golden opportunity there in the top of the 3rd inning, but they did get 1 run across. The 1-2 is tipped foul at the plate, so they kind of hold it 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes. Count to Nunez. And Fitzgerald's pitch is swung on and hit foul down the right field line. And the count remains at 1-2.
Uh-oh, are you two back at it today?
1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch is swung on, fell back to screen again. And the count holds.
I think there's a bet in the dugout of with all these foul balls, who could hit the camera before the end of this game.
We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Jupiter Lightning leading Chobee Amp 1-0. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and again fouled back. And just off the top of the screen. And rolls into the home team's stands there off the first base side. So good battle here between Nunez and Fitzgerald. And Fitzgerald ready to go to work again with a count of 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch is again fouled back just behind us.
Hey, throw that one in. Throw that one in. Hey. Throw him in.
Trying to get a ball back in play here so play can resume.
Right here. Right here, buddy.
I won't make it.
Throw the other one.
Oh. What are the odds?
Well, they're just trying to get a ball back in play, but let's resume play here.
Ball's gone. All right.
Couldn't do that again if you tried.
I was trying to get it to the catcher. Didn't want to throw it too hard.
Well,
Oh, we got a ball in the field, too. Out there in left field.
another ball's come
Left center.
rolling in from the first base dugout as well.
Foul balls all over the place today. Again, money on who can hit the camera, apparently on other fields as well.
Yes. Let's see if we can get the game back underway here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The count on Nunez, and the pitch is fouled at the plate once again. Fouled off 4 straight pitches. And Fitzgerald ready to go to work once again with a count of 1 ball, 2 strikes on Nunez. And the 1-2 pitch is change, and they say she didn't go around. The count is 2-2. That was close.
That was close.
The 2-2 pitch by Fitzgerald is swung on and hit weakly back to the pitcher, and the throw is in time for out number 2. Fitzgerald to Hansberger for the out. 1-3 on the putout. And that will bring up Jalene Smith. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and Chobee Amp trailing by a score of 1-0. Fitzgerald ready to go once again, and the first pitch is fouled off of the catcher's face mask. And quickly ahead in the count once again. And she's been ahead in most counts today, Dave.
She has, just delivering.
Chobee Amp may get 1 more at bat. The 0-1 is change in for a ball. Count of 1 ball, 1 strike. We're in the bottom half of the 3rd inning, with the Jupiter Lightning leading 1-0. But keep in mind that they had the bases loaded in the top of the 3rd inning with 1 out and only got 1 run in. Strange double play to end the inning. 1-1 pitch is low and inside for ball 2. The 2-1 offering is
Called strike.
called strike. Yeah, interesting strike zone today, but that'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes here.
I'm gonna be honest, I've seen consistency on it.
2-2 fouled back. Both teams have made some connections, but not really hit the ball hard at any stretch. 2-2 pitch once again is swung on and missed for strike 3, and that was the 5th strikeout by Fitzgerald. And Chobee Amp goes quickly in the bottom of the 3rd. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no runners left on. We played 3, and Jupiter Lightning still leading by a score of 1-0.
Considering the time, this is most likely the last inning. Lightning's going to look to try to extend the lead. Obviously, the Amp trying to hold them at 1 and get their at bat as the home team. Close out the inning and hope that they can score a couple of runs. So, it all comes down to this inning. Who's going to last the entire game? Who's going to make it through the 4th inning?
Lightning has certainly had their opportunities, Dave, in all 3 innings. And to be leading only 1-0 is a bit surprising, to be honest. But
yeah, a couple of base running errors, I guess. I don't know that you necessarily call it an error. You get thrown out at second. That's a good play by the catcher. Nice throw. It's always a tough play to make, and you got to be aggressive. Especially, it's one thing in the 10s, but once you move into the 12s and beyond, the play on the field, there's not that many defensive errors, so you've got to try to grab your bases when you got them.
one of those little intangible things, though, in learning and development is the on-deck batter certainly could have, someone could have yelled for her to slide. There was really nobody there to kind of give her that instruction. Third base coach telling her to tag up, of course, but you got to use your own intuition and also maybe a quick glance over your shoulder to see what's happening. She just assumed she was able to score without a play, and unfortunately it didn't work out in her favor. But nonetheless, the Lightning do have the lead here as we go to the top half of the fourth inning, in which figures to be the final inning of this particular contest.
I like to err on the side of caution and have them slide. Anytime you're stealing a base, slide, unless you're told to stay up. So first thought should be to slide, second thought, stay up. But sometimes you're tagging up, you're just thinking, let me put as much speed as I can on. And I would say probably 9 out of 10 times that does go in your favor, but.
And left-handed batting, Cody Spring will step up.
Last batter in the lineup, I believe.
One hit for each team. David Hirsch had an infield single back in the second inning. We're in the top of the fourth. And Spring takes ball one outside.
Second, we still got Ava coming up and then rotate back into the top of the lineup. Everybody getting their at-bats today.
And the next pitch is a pie for ball two.
Presented that bunt for a moment. I guess throw off the pitcher.
Chobee Amp made that pitching change in the third inning, and it did result in the double play to end the inning. 2 balls, no strikes to Cody Spring, and the pitch is low outside for ball 3.
Good job for Cody to lay off of that one. She thought for a moment, started to turn on it, and saw it was dropping.
And 3-0 pitch is a called strike one. Jupiter trying to get another runner on board. They've left quite a few stranded through the first 3 innings. And the 3-1 pitch is inside for ball 4. So Spring will draw a leadoff walk here in the top of the fourth inning. And that will bring up Ava Horswood. Cody Spring, the runner at first, via a leadoff walk. And Horswood set to go, and no pitch.
And runners out for leaving
Yeah,
early.
she left early. Well, and another base running mistake here by the Jupiter. So Spring is out. No pitch. And another lost opportunity here, so the next pitch is dribbled down to the pitcher. The throw to first easily for out number 2. Put out goes 1-3, and that will bring up Avalo Fitzgerald, who, as it stands, if she can hold off Chobee Amp in the bottom of the 4th, would be the winning pitcher as well. 2 outs, top of the 4th inning. And the pitch is the first solid hit into left field. That's going to go in the gap and be extra bases. She'll get to second base and keep going as it's going all the way to the wall.
And there's
Relay
exactly
throw
what
is
we
not
were
going to make
talking
it, and she'll have an inside the park home run. So I mentioned helping her own cause, and she did just that as she hit it into the gap, Dave. And you mentioned earlier, just getting it in, it'll roll off to the wall, all the way to the wall, and that's exactly what happened. So
a lot of territory to cover for the outfielders on this field. With a deep fence, widens the field. You can find those gaps. That's exactly what you get.
second hit and second run, and that was the only solid stroke of the day for either team thus far. I thought the wind might hold it down a little bit for them to make a play at the plate, but that relay throw was not very strong.
Now, at that point, with Avalo's speed, as you can see, she was already halfway between second and third before the ball was even coming off of the fence. Defense didn't have a chance there.
So an inside the park home run here in the top of the 4th inning has given the Jupiter Lightning a 2-0 lead over Chobee Amp. And the first pitch to Cameron Solano is a called strike. 2 quick outs, and then the inside the park home run. And the next pitch is way outside for ball 1.
Nice job by the catcher to jump up and grab that one.
Ball on the strike. Avalo Fitzgerald helping her own cause here and increasing the team's lead as the next pitch is outside for a ball. 2-1. Two-one pitch is swung on and fouled back close to us. And it lands on top of the tarp. I'm not sure if it came off, just to our right here. Well, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Top of the 4th inning. First broadcast of the day, and that is swung on and missed for strike 3. But in the inning for the Lightning, 1 run on 1 hit. The inside the park home run by Avalo Fitzgerald, and no runners left on. We played 3.5 innings, and the Jupiter Lightning leading Chobee Amp 2-0. As the Lightning take the field on defense here again. Thank you for listening to the broadcast and watching it on the Florida Softball Network. A lot of activity going on, of course, here, Dave, with these tournaments.
All the fields in play. We are with 4 fields. 4 fields, all being played at the same time as they work through this one-day tournament. I think the championship game slated for 3:30. So a lot of softball being played today. Beautiful day for it. Some puffy clouds rolling by. Sun and clouds, nice little breeze, cool things down. Beautiful day for softball.
If the Lightning are able to win this game, they really probably can consider themselves fortunate, as both teams did a pretty decent job defensively, but the Lightning really squandered a lot of scoring opportunities, especially in the first couple of innings.
Definitely should be up more than just 2-0. For example, in that last inning, if Cody hadn't stepped off accidentally there too early, it would have been a 2-run home run. Woulda, coulda, shoulda though. Lightning up 2-0. If they can stay strong defensively, they can still walk away with the win. Not sure how much it's going to help them with seeding, although not allowing runs is always a good thing, but not being able to put on too many runs can also put you behind depending on how the other games have gone earlier today. we shall just have to wait and see how the bracket fills out after this game.
Amalia Estrada is going to lead things off here for Chobee Amp in what figures to be the final at-bats for Chobee Amp in this first game, trailing 2-0. Jupiter Lightning with 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors. Chobee Amp, no runs, 1 hit, and 2 errors. And one of those errors led directly to the first run for the Lightning. So bottom of the 4th inning, and a 2-0 deficit for Chobee Amp as Avalo Fitzgerald ready to work. And the first pitch to Estrada is up high for ball 1. 1-0 pitch is popped up on the infield, and out number 1. Easy play at second base.
One of my favorite players making that play, Haley Hirsch.
That's right.
His daughter. Happy to see that.
So quick out number 1. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. If this inning goes quickly, this half of the inning, we could maybe get another one in, but see what happens. Got a piece of that. Fouled it back to the screen for strike 1. Dave, who'd you say this player was?
At the plate?
Pitcher, yep.
Oh, the pit. Oh, this is the pitcher. This is going to be Abby Vital.
And she slices another one foul, 0-2. Lightning had opportunities to score in the first, second, and third innings. They did get 1 run in on an error in the 3rd inning, and then top of the 4th, the inside the park home run by Avalo Fitzgerald, as she gets another called strike and a strikeout for out number 2. That is her 6th strikeout. The timer has gone off, which means this would be the last batter unless she can get on base. Hila Trueblood will step up, trying to keep the inning alive and the hopes alive for Chobee Amp here in their opening game this morning. Avalo's first pitch is swinging strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. And Fitzgerald ready to go to work once again, rocks into the motion, and the pitch is slapped foul. And out of play, it's 0-2.
Like I said earlier, slapping such a tough skill to master.
It is, and now she's in a whole 0-2, and you have to make contact as well. No balls, 2 strikes. Bottom of the 4th inning. And the 0-2 pitch is way up high for ball 1. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. And that should be the ball game.
That will do it. So now we're going to have to wait to see how the bracket fills out. If you are on the Florida Softball Network, you look for this event. It's in the live section. There's going to be multiple feeds there. Depending on where they seed, we'll be back to you. So we are not going to know that quite yet. So just maybe if you subscribe to Florida Softball Network, you will get a notification. Become the players to thank the umpire for his hard work.
And the final totals for the visiting Jupiter Lightning: 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors. And for the home team, Chobee Amp, no runs, 1 hit. They committed 2 errors. And the winning pitcher is Avalo Fitzgerald. And we thank you for joining us for our first broadcast this morning and look forward to our next upcoming game, Dave.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, we are now going to wait, see what we get for our bracket. I'll be back to you then. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Florida Softball Network. Appreciate it. Like I said, like, subscribe, and don't miss any of the softball action from throughout Florida with the Jupiter Lightning. We'll see you soon.